Okay, ready for another deep dive? Today, we're stepping into the world of numerology.
Ooh, exciting.
It is. Specifically, we're tuning into all the vibes of the number two.
All right, the number two.
We've got a bunch of articles here all about the number two personality. Should be interesting.
Yeah, it's wild how much meaning can be packed into just one digit.
Right. Like we're talking relationships, careers, even lucky colors, all from one number.
It really is like this whole secret code.
Totally.
Yeah.
A secret code for figuring out ourselves, the people around us. But before we get too far ahead of ourselves,
Got to lay the foundation.
exactly. For anyone just joining us, what even is a life path number?
Okay, so think of it like a guiding energy that comes from your birth date. And it's not just like basic addition.
Yeah.
It's more about these deeper vibrational patterns
Yeah.
that numerologists believe, they believe influence our lives.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of like a numerological blueprint, like a cosmic personality profile.
Totally. Exactly that. And if you've got a life path number of 2, that profile, all about diplomacy, empathy, finding balance, they're ruled by the moon, which makes them crazy intuitive.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they're tuned right into everyone's emotions around them.
So they're like the ultimate peacemakers,
Mm-hmm.
always stepping in, smoothing things over, bringing people together.
You got it. The articles, they all highlight this deep empathy, like they can see everyone's side of the story.
That's got to be useful sometimes.
Right. They're the best listeners, always there with a shoulder to cry on. But even with good things, there can be too much.
Wait, so being too empathetic, that's a thing? Tell me more about that. Kind of like a double-edged sword thing you were talking about.
Just imagine feeling everything so strongly. Amazing for being a friend, everyone trusts you.
Right.
But it also means you're sensitive, you take things to heart, maybe struggle with self-doubt a bit more.
Okay, so how does someone with this life path too, how do they use all that empathy without, like, drowning in everyone else's feelings? The articles must have something to say about that.
Oh, absolutely. One that really stood out to me, it really emphasized boundaries. That's key for number 2.
Boundaries.
Yeah, like knowing what they need, putting their well-being first. It builds up that inner strength, the resilience.
So they're still empathetic, but with an emotional force field.
Exactly.
So like it's
Deflect the negative, let the good vibes through.
okay, so this is where it gets really interesting to me because now we're talking real life, right?
Right.
So with all these number two traits, how do they play out in relationships? What about jobs?
Okay, let's talk love
Yeah,
first.
love.
If someone's all about that whirlwind romance, falling head over heels,
Instantly.
yeah, number 2 might not be the best match.
Really?
Nope. They want that deep connection, loyalty, really knowing someone before diving in.
So no love at first sight, more like a slow burn.
You got it. One article even called them old souls when it comes to love.
Old souls. I kind of like that.
Right.
But when they do find that person,
They're devoted, truly devoted partners,
they sound like keepers, those number twos.
for sure.
All right, so if we move on from love, what about jobs? Are there certain fields where a number two would just like naturally excel?
Okay, picture a job where empathy is valued, where diplomacy rules, and everyone's all about that harmonious vibe.
I'm picturing it.
All right, so the articles, they all pointed towards things like counseling, social work, maybe teaching, even diplomacy.
It's all about nurturing, supporting, makes sense.
Exactly.
But hold on, what about that need for change we were talking about before? Wouldn't a typical 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, wouldn't that stifle them?
Oh, you hit the nail on the head. Number 2s, they can definitely handle structure, but too much routine. Repetitive tasks,
Yeah.
day after day.
Yeah.
They're going to get bored. They need a little spice in their work life, keep things interesting.
So how do they find that sweet spot then? Purpose and passion all in one.
Well, one example that came up was a freelance writer.
Okay.
Think about it. They get to be creative, use their way with words to help others,
Right.
and they have that flexibility they crave.
You get to be their own boss, kind of.
Exactly. Best of both worlds.
That's a fantastic example. I love that. Having your cake and eating it too.
Right.
Speaking of delicious and visually appealing, did you know there are certain colors linked to numerology? Color me intrigued. Tell me more about these numerology colors.
Okay, so for number 2, it's all about green and white. Those soothing, harmonious vibes.
Green and white.
Yeah, like calming nature, those peaceful
Makes
landscapes.
sense.
It's like their inner peacemaker, but in color form.
Right. Like they bring a sense of calm just by being there. I can see it.
Totally. And it's not just colors. We've got gemstones, too.
Oh, of course, the gemstones. I almost forgot.
Right. So pearls, They're a big one for number 2.
Earls, yeah.
That soft, iridescent look plus that moon connection. They're supposed to boost intuition, emotional balance, all that good stuff.
Key traits for our number 2s.
Exactly. And speaking of the moon, we can't forget moonstones.
Gotta have the moonstone.
Right. Again, that lunar energy helps number 2s tap into their subconscious, embrace their sensitive side.
I like it. What about jade?
Jade. Oh, yeah. That one's all about peace, harmony, good luck. Classic.
So it's like building an outfit, but with energy. Add pearl necklace, maybe a moonstone ring, top it off with a jade bracelet.
Surround yourself with those vibes that support you. But you want to know what I find really cool?
Lay it on me.
Seeing this numerology stuff play out in real people's lives.
Oh, you mean like, are there famous number 2s? Ones who really embody all these traits?
You bet. Think about Mother Teresa. Dedicated her life to helping others. Had that compassion, that empathy,
Right.
that unwavering push for peace. Total number 2.
She's such an inspiration.
Right. And Princess Diana, she was mentioned in the articles too.
Yeah, what about her? What made her a number 2?
She had this incredible capacity for empathy, just like Mother Teresa. Connected with people on this heart-to-heart level, used her platform for good, advocated for the people who needed it most.
Yeah, she had a huge heart.
It's like that deep compassion. Let her see the humanity in everyone.
Both amazing women left their mark on the world. It's powerful to see, those number 2 strengths making such a difference. Okay, so we've covered a lot. The traits, strengths, relationships, the jobs, even the lucky colors and gemstones. What's the key takeaway here? For our listeners, what does it all mean if there are 2 or if they know it too?
It's about truly recognizing that unique energy that each life path brings.
Okay.
Like we're all part of this giant puzzle, right?
Like that.
And each piece, it has its own shape, its own color.
Right.
Understanding those differences, that's what helps us make sense of our relationships, appreciate what everyone brings to the table.
It's true.
Instead of trying to make everyone fit the same mold.
Love that. Celebrate those differences. It's like numerology gives us this whole language to understand those differences, to appreciate that everyone's got their own path. But it's not just about other people, right? It's about understanding ourselves better, too. So if you're a number 2, how can numerology help with their own personal journey?
It really is about that self-discovery. Numerology, it's like it can be a mirror and a roadmap, all for those number 2s.
Okay, I'm going to need you to break that down for me. Mirror and a roadmap. How's that work?
Okay, so the mirror part, right? That's all about helping a number 2 really get their strengths, their weaknesses, like those tendencies, maybe being a bit too sensitive, the self-doubt thing.
Yeah.
It's not a flaw. It's just part of who they are, built in.
Don't
Okay?
eat the blueberry.
Exactly. And that's where the roadmap comes in. Once you know yourself, those tendencies, you can choose how you deal with them. So a number 2 might realize, hey, I need stronger boundaries, got to take care of myself more.
Otherwise, they get drained, overwhelmed.
Exactly. So it's not about changing who they are. It's more like giving them tools.
Tools to navigate, yeah.
Right. To live authentically, but in a way that feels good, that's empowering.
Mm-hmm.
And this whole self-discovery thing, it's not just for 2s.
Right, everyone's got their number.
Exactly. Every life path has got its own ups and downs, its own flavor. But this has been a really interesting look at the number 2, wouldn't you say?
Totally agree. We've learned so much today. It's amazing how much meaning can be found in these numbers. But before we wrap up, I have one final burning question.
Hit me with it.
So is our destiny actually set in stone? Like, based on these numbers? Or do we have the power to change things up?
Ah, the age-old question. Fate or free will? And honestly, numerology alone can't answer that. But here's the thing.
What's that?
It doesn't really matter.
Wait, what do you mean?
Think about it. If everything IS decided, already written, then knowing your number helps you accept it, maybe even enjoy the ride a bit more. But if we do have free will, then knowing ourselves, our strengths, our weaknesses, that helps us make better choices. So either way, it's like having this cosmic compass.
I love that. A cosmic compass guides us no matter what.
Exactly.
This has been an amazing deep dive. I feel like I understand myself and the people around me so much better now. But where can our listeners go if they want to learn more about numerology?
That's the cool part. It's all about exploration. There are tons of books out there, websites, even apps dedicated to this stuff. But my advice, start with you. Calculate your life path number. Maybe do it for your friends and family too. See what clicks, what resonates. You might be surprised what you find.
It's about more than just predicting the future, right? It's about that deeper understanding
Exactly.
of ourselves and the people in our lives. Well, that's it for this deep dive. Until next time, Keep exploring, keep those questions coming, and keep those numerological vibes high.